It's a beautiful snowy day here at Conner Prairie. One of the questions that we frequently get asked is what happens to the animals over the winter? The short answer is they stay right here. The ag staff comes in every single day to feed and make sure that the animals are happy, healthy, and safe year-round. So in today's video, we wanted to give you a special behind-the-scenes look at some of the things that we do to help keep the animals safe, as well as talk about some of the ways that the animals are naturally designed to adapt during the colder winter months. There are several things that we do to help make sure the animals stay healthy throughout the winter, and a big component of animal health is nutrition. Most of our livestock here eat grass and hay, but because grass isn't growing in the winter, we have to make sure that we've stored up enough hay to feed them throughout the winter months. We feed the equivalent of approximately 400 bales of this size each month throughout the winter. So it's very important that in the late summer and early fall, we stock up to make sure that we've got enough to feed them all winter long. We feed both alfalfa and grass hay depending on each individual animal's specific dietary needs. Over the winter, we feed our cattle a couple different types of hay. Both of these are grassy hay. This one's going to weigh about 800 pounds roughly, and a small bale like this is going to weigh typically 60 to 80 pounds. This big bale has to be moved with a tractor, as you can see behind me, but the advantage of this is that it's much more efficient to feed because it requires a lot less labor and handling than the equivalent weight in small bales. A bale of this size will feed this set of cattle for about 3 days.
Staying warm requires extra energy, so while we do provide them hay, we like to give our animals some supplements. So with the cattle, we give them Livestock, which is high in protein, has extra calories, which helps keep them warm and in good condition throughout the winter.
While not necessarily a winter thing, we often get pumpkins in the fall, and we like to feed them to our animals as a nice healthy snack, and also to give them a little bit of enrichment. Our pigs especially love them.
One of the challenges that we face in the winter with colder temperatures is our water tanks freezing. Because it's extremely important for our animals to have access to clean, fresh water at all times, we have to use devices like this tank heater, which help keep the water thawed even when the air temperature is well below freezing. So there are different types of tank heaters that we can use depending on the size of the tank, the material of the tank, and also the animals that are using that water tank. There's a couple that will sink, so like this one and this one both sink to the bottom of the tank, and this one will float on the top of the water. But all of these serve to help keep the water from freezing. So now we'll talk about shelters. All of our animals have access to shelter at all times. However, we don't keep them inside barns 24/7. With that many animals in a barn, it can get very damp and humid very quickly, so the fresh air is actually really healthy for them, even when it's cold. Even though they have access to shelter, as you can see behind me, they often choose not to use it, and we'll talk about why that is a little later in this video.
So when the animals are inside of a barn, it's really important that we provide them with warm, dry, and clean bedding. So in the summer, we typically provide shavings, and then in the winter, we provide straw because it's warm and they can nestle down into it. So while we work hard to keep the animals happy and healthy throughout the winter, the animals are designed to actually handle the elements themselves. So one of the ways that the livestock prepare for winter is by getting thicker coats of hair or wool throughout the fall months. This helps keep them protected from the wind, rain, snow, and the cold temperatures.
A lot of our animals have adaptations that help them survive in the colder climates. So like you can see on her, she's got a very thick coat of hair, so that helps insulate her a little bit, but under all that hair she has a thick layer of body fat right around the outside of her, which helps keep all that temperature in. Now a lot of the animals that we have here also have body temperatures that are well over 100 degrees Fahrenheit, which also helps keep them warm. But in addition to that, our cows, sheep, and goats are all ruminants, which means that they ferment their hay in the stomach, and that also puts off a lot of heat, which helps keep them warm during the winter.
Between their thick coat of hair and the layer of fat that they have underneath of it, our cows are very well insulated, so even though it is cold and snowy out here, they stay well insulated. So when we see snow on their backs like this, we know that they are actually doing very well.
So as I mentioned earlier, all of our animals have access to shelter at all times. However, as you can see, they often choose not to use it. This little cow here is content out in the snow, chewing her cud, nice and happy and warm, even though the temperatures were pretty cold. Her extra body fat, her thick hair, her higher body temperature, and her digestive system all help her be comfortable and warm, even when humans are cold.
Thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed the video and look forward to seeing you next time.